The room went quiet when the hostess asked her to leave. Forks paused in midair, conversations faded into an awkward hush, and right there, in the middle of a fancy restaurant where she clearly didn't belong, a little girl squeezed her father's hand, eyes wide with fear. That's when the single dad finally spoke. His voice was calm, steady, just 4 words. "She's with me." And across the table, the billionaire heiress froze like she'd been struck by lightning. Before we dive into this story, take a quick second to support the channel. If stories about kindness, humanity, and unexpected moments move you, hit subscribe, tap like, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kind Choice Corner, where one small choice can change everything. Michael Carter hadn't planned on being there. The restaurant was called La Belle Vérité, one of those places where the menu didn't list prices and the lighting made everyone look important. Michael knew this because he'd spent 10 minutes outside, reading reviews on his phone, wondering if he should just turn around and take his daughter somewhere cheaper. But it was Lily's birthday. She was 7 years old, wearing a simple blue dress her aunt had mailed from Ohio, her hair pulled back with a pink clip that never stayed in place. She'd asked for one thing that morning while eating cereal at their tiny kitchen table. "Daddy, can we go somewhere fancy?" Just once? Michael was a warehouse supervisor in Cleveland. He worked long hours, drove an aging sedan, and counted every dollar. Fancy wasn't part of their life, but birthdays mattered, especially since Lily's mom had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving Michael to learn bedtime braids, school projects, and how to be both parents at once. So he said yes. Inside the restaurant, everything felt intimidating. Crystal glasses, white tablecloths, servers in crisp black uniforms. Michael straightened his jacket, the nicest one he owned, even though the sleeve buttons were loose. They were seated near the center of the room. That's when he noticed her. Across the table sat a young woman in an elegant cream-colored dress. Her posture was perfect, her hair neatly styled, her expression calm but distant. She was surrounded by quiet attention, servers checking on her constantly. Michael didn't know her name, but everyone else seemed to. Clara Whitmore, billionaire heiress, philanthropist, the daughter of one of the most powerful families in the country. Clara hadn't noticed Michael or Lily at first. She was lost in thought, staring at her plate, barely touching the food. To her, this dinner was just another obligation, another public appearance, another place where people treated her like glass. Lily, on the other hand, couldn't stop staring. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging his sleeve. "Is she a princess?" Michael smiled softly. Something like that. Everything was fine until Lily's excitement got the better of her. When the server placed her dessert early as a birthday surprise, Lily gasped, clapped her hands, and accidentally knocked her spoon onto the floor. It clattered loudly. A few heads turned. Michael picked it up quickly. "I'm so sorry," he said to the server. "She didn't mean—" Before he could finish, the hostess appeared. She leaned down, her smile tight and rehearsed. "Sir," she said quietly, but not quietly enough. "I'm afraid this table is reserved for our premium guests. There must be some mistake." Michael felt his chest tighten. "I made a reservation," he replied, pulling out his phone. "I can show you." The hostess glanced at Lily, then at Michael's worn shoes. Her smile faded. "This section is usually exclusive." Lily sensed the change immediately. Her excitement drained. She slid closer to her dad, her small hand finding his. "It's okay, Daddy," she whispered. "We can go." That's when Clara looked up. She had heard that last sentence. She saw the girl's face, the way her shoulders curled inward, like she was trying to disappear. Clara had seen that look before. She'd worn it herself as a child, growing up surrounded by wealth but starved of warmth. The hostess continued, "We can move you to another area, or—" Michael took a slow breath. "She's with me," he said. 4 simple words. No anger, no shouting. Just calm certainty. The room went still. Clara froze, her fork hovering above her plate. Something about the way he said it hit her hard. Not defensive, not embarrassed, just protective. The hostess hesitated. "Sir, Clara stood up. Every eye turned toward her. "She stays," Clara said, her voice clear and steady. "They both do." The hostess's face went pale. "Ms. Whitmore, I didn't realize—" "I know," Clara interrupted gently. "That's the problem." She walked over to Michael and Lily's table, ignoring the whispers that rippled through the room. "May I?" Clara asked. Michael nodded, still unsure what was happening. Clara knelt slightly so she was eye level with Lily. "Happy birthday," she said with a soft smile. "I like your dress." Lily blinked. "Thank you. Are you really a princess?" Clara laughed quietly. "No. But sometimes I wish I were." She stood and looked at Michael. "You didn't do anything wrong," she said, "and neither did she." Michael swallowed. "Thank you. I just wanted her to have one nice night." Clara's expression softened. "You already gave her that." She turned to the hostess. "Please bring them anything they'd like. It's on me." Michael tried to protest, but Clara raised a hand. "Please, let me." The rest of the dinner felt unreal. Servers treated Lily like royalty. A small cake arrived with a candle. Other diners smiled instead of stared. Michael watched his daughter laugh, her earlier fear completely gone. Across the table, Clara watched them quietly. She thought about all the dinners she'd attended, the empty conversations, the forced smiles. And here, in the middle of a restaurant meant to impress, she saw something she rarely witnessed: real love. Before leaving, Clara stopped by their table one last time. "You're doing a good job," she said to Michael. "She's lucky." Michael's eyes stung. "So am I." Clara reached into her purse and slid a card onto the table. "If you ever need anything," she said, "anything at all." Michael looked at the card but didn't rush to pick it up. "Thank you," he said. But tonight was already more than enough. Clara smiled, truly smiled, for the first time that evening. As Michael and Lily walked out, Lily looked up at her dad. "Daddy?" "Yeah, sweetheart. When I grow up, I want to be kind, like you, and like her." Michael squeezed her hand. "That's the best thing you could ever be." And back inside, Clara stood alone for a moment, watching them through the window. For the first time in a long while, her expensive dinner felt worth something. Because kindness doesn't care about money, or status, or where you sit at the table. It shows up in quiet moments, in calm voices, in 4 simple words spoken at the right time. She's with me. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change everything. If this story moved you, carry it with you. Speak up when you see someone being pushed aside. Stand calmly. Choose kindness. Because you never know who's watching, and whose life you might change.